Hanging coffins are an ancient and fascinating burial practice where coffins are suspended from or placed on cliff faces. This tradition is primarily associated with certain ethnic groups in China, the Philippines, and Indonesia, particularly with the Bo people of southern China. Dating back as early as the Zhou dynasty, 1046 to 256 BCE, hanging coffins were meant to honor and preserve the dead. These coffins are often positioned on narrow wooden ledges or directly inserted into natural crevices in the cliffs, sometimes as high as 300 feet above the ground. The reason behind the practice varies among cultures, though common beliefs suggest that it keeps the deceased closer to their ancestral spirits and protects them from wild animals or floods. Many believe that the higher the coffin, the closer the deceased is to heaven, signifying respect and admiration for their elders. This form of burial was also seen as a means to separate the dead from the living, symbolically maintaining the spiritual purity of the deceased. The most notable hanging coffins are located in southern China's Wuyi Mountains, where the Bo people's coffins remain. Though the Bo people disappeared mysteriously in the Ming dynasty, their remarkable coffins survive. In China's Sichuan province, especially around Gongxian County, hundreds of hanging coffins dot the cliffsides, still clinging to the rocks after centuries. The coffins vary in size, usually crafted from wood and sealed to protect the deceased from the elements. They are often remarkably simple in design, reflecting the belief in modesty even in death. Many coffins in the Philippines are shorter, with corpses believed to be placed in fetal positions, symbolizing rebirth in the afterlife. The Sagada region in the Philippines is especially famous for its hanging coffins, where the Igorot people continue the tradition to this day. Though fewer coffins are hung in modern times, some Igorot elders still choose cliffside burial, upholding ancient customs. Families save for years to host these events, involving ceremonies, feasts, and finally, a burial on a cliffside. The coffins are often decorated, reflecting the personality and social status of the deceased. Some even include carved effigies known as Tao Tao, representing the deceased and placed near the coffins. The hanging coffin's construction required great skill and strength, often involving ropes, pulleys, and ladders to reach the cliff faces. Such work was highly dangerous and conducted by specialized workers within these communities. For the Bo people, cliff burials allowed coffins to remain out of reach, preserving them longer than traditional burials. This unique method made it challenging for tomb raiders to access, keeping the deceased's belongings and remains safe for centuries. Historians and archaeologists studying the hanging coffins have uncovered various theories about their significance. Some suggest they were crafted for tribal leaders or shamans, indicating a revered status. Others believe the altitude prevented natural decomposition, thus preserving the body longer, aiding the deceased's spiritual journey. The coffins in Sichuan were typically made of nanmu wood, known for its resilience against decay. Some were placed on beams drilled into the rock, while others were directly inserted into natural crevices. The location of these hanging coffins is often remote, making access challenging for researchers. Nevertheless, those who study them find insights into the ancient practices and values of these cultures. For instance, while most cultures bury their dead in the ground, the concept of placing them above ground highlights distinct spiritual beliefs. Such customs demonstrate the diversity in humanity's approach to life, death, and the afterlife. In addition to cultural meaning, hanging coffins also reflect technical knowledge of engineering and construction. Despite their age, many coffins have survived floods, weathering, and erosion. Scholars believe this endurance is due to careful craftsmanship, specifically selecting resilient materials and well-protected locations. Over time, natural events and human interference have led to the loss of many hanging coffins. Earthquakes, landslides, and storms have caused some to fall, while others were dismantled or disturbed by tomb raiders. In China, efforts are underway to preserve these relics, and some cliffs are now protected as cultural heritage sites. In the Philippines, the Igorot people now place fewer coffins on cliffs due to changing traditions, while still respecting the customs of their ancestors. The hanging coffins serve as a testament to humanity's ingenuity and resilience. These ancient burials remind us that different societies approach death in diverse ways, offering unique perspectives on life, spirituality, and legacy. Through the ages, the hanging coffins have inspired curiosity, respect, and awe among visitors and scholars alike.